Hello fellow modelers! In today's video, I show you top 10 household chemicals I frequently use for model assembly and painting, some of which might surprise you, or not. Number 1. Baking soda. While it's common in the kitchen for baking, it works beautifully for our models as a stable, strong and instant filler. Soda is soft white powder that gets everywhere and nicely fills the gap. You probably have a superglue lying around too. When you just add a drop of a superglue into the powder, a strong exothermic reaction takes place, instantly hardening the mixture into a solid layer. Keep in mind that this mixture is stronger than the plastic itself, so be cautious when sanding. It is easy to accidentally remove more surrounding plastic than intended. I primarily use this method for larger fills or repairs. I wouldn't advise it for smaller models or areas with intricate details. Just look how the ugly hole has been seamlessly filled in just a few minutes. After applying the primer, there is no trace of it. The final result is smooth, strong and stable. Number 2. If you are looking to polish up some plastic parts, you can use a common item you like having in your bathroom. Toothpaste. The kits with a complex cockpit canopies usually have an ugly mold line across the whole section. If you want to be meticulous, you should consider removing it with a soft nail file. However, after sanding, the surface can look a bit cloudy. While you could invest in pricey polishing compounds, the adequate alternative is good old toothpaste. Its soft abrasive particles restore the shine of the plastic effectively. I often use a cotton swabs, but a microfiber cleaning cloth works even better. This is the result after a few seconds of polishing. And for those seeking a higher level of a shine, take a look in your garage for some car wax. Applying wax creates a soft protective layer that not only enhances the shine, but also fills the finer sketches. Ultimately, you will end up with the surface that looks as if the mold line never existed. Number 3. This Zippo lighter fuel is one of my favorite chemicals. It has a wide range of use and is better than expensive enamel thinners for models. You can use it for dilution of enamel paints, dry pigments and primarily oils. I often face challenges with oil paints mixed with enamel thinner, which can result in lumpy texture rather than smooth finish. However, the same can't be said about Zippo fuel. When I use it, the black wash turns out beautifully smooth. I sprayed the Tamiya acrylic paint on the plastic kit, which is not very durable and can be easily scratched. As you can see, the clean fuel nicely removes excess wash without harming the paint job. If you are working with enamel paints, you can use also this fuel for dilution. It evaporates faster, allowing you to touch the painted surface just in a few minutes later. And ultimately, it nicely works with dry pigments, but you will appreciate that if you are making tanks or armor vehicles, where there is usually more accumulated dirt. Number 4. If you ever struggle with a paint adhesion, a good tip is to clean plastic parts with a dish detergent before painting. The surface usually holds a grease from molding process along with the dust particles and greasy fingerprints. Dish detergent is not aggressive, making it suitable for cleaning models with already applied primer or surfacer. If you have expensive brushes with natural hairs, then do not use any chemicals solvents. They can destroy them. Instead, use a cheap soap and a bit of hot water. The soap nicely removes acrylic paint or oil and makes your brushes soft, sharp and clean. This cheap rag can save you a lot of money on the new brushes. If you use synthetic paints, then use cheap synthetic brushes. And bonus tip, makeup cleaner can also be useful. I found this cleaner to be especially helpful for removing ingrained oil or dirt from matte surfaces. It effectively lifts excess wash without damaging the overall finish, allowing oil paint to remain in rivets and pan lines. Number 5. While this doesn't have to be limited to just a bathroom cleaner, it can really be any product that contains chlorine, such as swimming pool chemicals or mold removers. The plastic chrome parts looks nice, but they often come with mold lines, peeling chrome or mold donor marks. That is why removing the chrome can be quite useful. And fortunately, bathroom cleaner does the job well with a minimal effort. Simply drop the chrome parts into plastic zip bag and pour in a small amount of the cleaner. Let it sit for a few minutes and watch as the chrome dissolves away. Once the reaction is complete, make sure to neutralize the chemicals by rinsing everything in water. Then you will all set to make a coffee again. Just a quick reminder, be careful with your clothes, as the chlorine can leave behind white stains. Lastly, the primer reveals any imperfections. On the chrome parts, these flaws are barely noticeable. Number 6. The hairspray is basically varnish which can be reactivated with water, so it is excellent for chipping and weathering techniques. It costs only a few dollars and has a large volume. I apply silver paint on the plastic and then cover it with a hairspray. The layer appears thick, but it evaporates quickly, creating a soft film that doesn't cover small details like rivets or panel lines. When the varnish is dry, I sprayed acrylic paint over, just as you are used to. Now you can reactivate the base hairspray layer with water. This reaction allows the easy removal of the top acrylic layer with a brush or toothpick. The hairspray disperses significantly, which can be too much for small projects, since you typically wouldn't need to cover the entire surface with a chipping varnish. In such case, it's best to apply it locally with an airbrush around the areas like a cockpit or engine covers. Alternatively, you can pour the hairspray into airbrush for more precise application. Number 7. You probably have a vinegar bottle in your kitchen, which is also commonly used as an eco-friendly cleaner. The cleaner is usually pure liquid, without any other substances. You can use it as a cheap alternative to decals chemicals. I like to test the application of the decals on the slightly tricky round surfaces, to see how well vinegar holds up. Basically, the decals have a cover film, which is relatively strong and hides all the surface details. Therefore, it's handy to use some solvent, in this case vinegar, which helps to set decals and copy underlying details or surface shapes. I don't recommend vinegar for adart chipping decals. It is too weak for them. However, it works nicely with a cartograph or tech mod. The 10% vinegar is much weaker than modern decals chemicals, so you must wait at least 4 hours and apply multiple layers. Number 8. Isopropyl alcohol is a versatile household item that often used for tasks such as degreasing, removing ice from car windshield, or cleaning cosmetic tools. I personally use it on my models to clean plastic surfaces before painting. I also like to use isopropyl alcohol as a thinner for Tamiya acrylic paints. It is much more affordable option compared to the Tamiya thinner. Also, it can be used with a similar paint brands such as AK Real Colors or Mr. Hobby C series. You can see that the paint job is smooth and well suited for soft shading, because it dries quickly, reducing the risk of a paint spidering. Additionally, since it is inexpensive, I use it as an airbrush cleaner when working with acrylics. Number 9. We are moving on to more serious chemicals now, especially acetone, mostly commonly used as a nail polish remover. It is also effective for removing leftover adhesive from stickers. In plastic modeling, it is very versatile and effective organic solvent. You can use it for dilution of a Tamiya basic putty, which allows you to apply it precisely with a brush. Additionally, acetone is excellent for cleaning your tools after using lacquer paints, primers or fillers. You can also use acetone as a superglue debonder for metal or resin parts, and eventually your fingers. Do not use it on plastic, as the larger amount can melt it. If you are working with 3D printed models or metal components secured with a superglue, you might sometimes need to eliminate excess glue from surfaces. In this case, acetone offers a budget-friendly solution. There is more. Acetone is excellent plastic solvent that evaporates quickly, making it a cheap alternative to Tamiya extra thin glue. Just position the plastic parts together. Apply a small amount along the seam line, and watch as a capillary action causes the liquid flow effortlessly into the gap. You can see here that the small amount of acetone evaporates very fast and will not harm the soft surface details. Lastly, here is a classic trick from old days. Pour acetone into glass bottle and toss into residual plastic sprue. Then carefully seal the bottle and let it work for 1 day. You will get a delightful homemade plastic glue or filler. Although it takes about 12 hours to fully dry, the benefit lies in its consistency and hardness, which match the surrounding surface, making it easy to scrape or rivet. While baking soda works instantly, it's much rougher. Last but not least, number 10. Glycerin is a common ingredient in cosmetics and food industry. You might have it at home if you ever try to make a soap. It is also used in electronic cigarettes to create a thicker smoke. It is also a key component in producing nitroglycerin, which is used in dynamite, but I wouldn't recommend going down that road. Anyway, I like to use it as a cheap acrylic paint retarder and thinner. The magic is to mix 1 part of a glycerin and 10 parts of water. It significantly improves brush application of acrylic paint, achieving a lovely smooth finish. You can notice that the water-thin layer dries fast and creates ugly brush strokes. In contrast, the layer painted with a glycerin dries slowly, letting the paint flow better. I also find glycerin handy for preventing paint in the bottle from drying out. This can save you quite a bit of cash, especially if you use expensive paints like Citadel. Okay, that is all. You can write me a comment about your score and how many old school techniques you know and use, or your favorite chemicals which I didn't mention. I have stumbled upon a fantastic reaction during my experiments and I will dive into in the next video. Thank you for watching and to my Patreons for support. See you next time!